What I'm about to show you can help us better understand the future of immigration to Canada. This graph demonstrates immigration to the US over the last 200 years. If we look closer, we can notice from 2009 to 2018 and onward, immigration levels started dropping. The question is this because fewer people want to live in the US, or is it the policy? In this video, we'll dive into my predictions for 2023 by analyzing what the government had said and what they hinted, as well as look into historic data. At the end of this video, I want to answer the big question: will immigration to Canada stop, as there is a lot of red flags? My name's Max and my mission is to help make Canada #1 global destination for international students. Subscribe not to miss anything new related to student immigration. 2022 has been a historic year for Canadian immigration, the highest number of new immigrants in history at over 400,000 newcomers, let alone over 100,000 Ukrainian refugees under the CUAT program. And the recent news about IRCC planning to issue over 200,000 work permits for family members of temporary foreign workers. Now, what does this all mean to us? Long processing times. This regards all applications, non-immigrant visas like tourist or student, as well as immigrant cases like permanent residency and citizenship. Right now, for study permits, we have an average processing time of about 4 months. In some cases, people get it in 13 days, while others have to wait for over 10 months. Though the Minister of Immigration, Sean Fraser, says they're hiring more visa officers to work on cases to increase processing times. Let's hope they bring on happy people that approve more cases, as currently the Canadian study permit is one of the most difficult student visas to get in the world, with a 60% approval rate. Compare this to the US with an 80% approval rate. How do you increase your chances of approval though? I've made a couple of videos on this topic now, and the best one to check out is this one on top 10 factors that affect your approval chances. But there is something I haven't shared even in that video. The immigration minister has hinted many times with both the language he used and actions that IRCC wants to do two things. First, diversify the immigrant population, meaning attracting more people from smaller population countries like Thailand and Korea, not India and China. Now, this doesn't mean that it's impossible for Chinese or Indians to get approved, but it means that you need to have a stronger case. And two, growing smaller cities in Canada with immigrants. They don't like to see everyone go to Toronto or Vancouver, as this makes the political pressure on the government. Canadians see the prices are rising and look at the news articles that manipulate macroeconomic trends to throw immigrants under the bus. Basically, they blame immigrants for sky-high rents in Toronto or Vancouver. Therefore, I feel like going to other smaller cities around Canada might increase your chances in the future. Time to address the elephant in the room. Is the end of open immigration to Canada just around the corner? When I sat down with the Minister of Advanced Education last month, he mentioned their action plan to attract international students.
We developed in 2020 an international education strategy, which I didn't know at the time, but once it was developed, officials and bureaucrats in the Ministry of Advanced Education told me this is the first time that Alberta has an international education strategy.
Other government officials have also highlighted that Canada needs international students. But similarly to how in the US immigration ramped down after 2009, there is a political climate that might change this open policy. A lot of second and third generation Canadians are bombarded by articles like this one. The media speculates on high immigration numbers and throws newcomers under the bus to explain the increase in prices. Now, even a bigger factor, the 45th federal election is only 2 years away from now. And what do the polls say? Justin Trudeau is now behind Pierre Poilievre. Coincidentally, who won the 45th presidential election in the US? Donald Trump. And we all know his stance on immigration. I can't say for certain that the Conservative government will have the same approach as Trump, because Canada heavily relies on immigrants, unlike the US. But the window of opportunity might be closing soon. So if I wanted to move to Canada, I would act now. Now I have two important announcements. Feel free to book a student strategy call in the description below with myself if you're outside the country. But for my community members inside Canada right now, I realized you need the next step, as immigration and permanent residency is only the beginning. Therefore, I started a second channel called Immigrant Wealth, where I share my journey to building a life of financial freedom as a newcomer in Canada. If you want to learn investing and business to succeed as a first-generation immigrant, make sure you subscribe to that channel, as the first video is coming out in a couple of weeks. And as always, please let me know your thoughts on this video in the comments below. Subscribe to this channel and I'll see you next Sunday.